speaker, she comes to us from Tanzania. Catherine Njau, are you there? I see Catherine. Hello, Catherine. All right, a little bit.
Anastasia. Hi, everybody.
A little bit about Miss Catherine Njau. She is in Tanzania, and she's an English teacher for the Tanzanian government, where she facilitates different activities and teacher training. She coordinates various English clubs, life skills, and menstrual hygiene education. She's currently a regional coordinator for Tanzania English Language Association, which is an affiliate of TESOL. She has presented her work at TESOL international conventions, including in Chicago and Atlanta, and she is the founder of the Kuliana organization. She holds a bachelor's degree in linguistics and literature from the Open University of Tanzania, and she is going to discuss with us her incredible work that she is doing over there. Catherine, the floor is yours. Would you like me to share the PowerPoint from my end?
Thank you so much, Anastasia.
Let me share. Where are we? Give me 1 second and I will share your PowerPoint. Can you see the screen? 1 second, let me see if I can share. There we go. And there. Go back. All right, sorry, give me 1 second. There we go. All right, Catherine, the floor is yours.
Okay. Yes, can you make a screen sharing?
Catherine, do you see the screen? Does everyone see the screen?
No, I don't see the screen.
Oh,
yeah,
okay.
I don't see it.
Okay,
Can you make it sharing?
Let me try one more time. Ah, there we go. All right. There, do you see it now?
No, it's just the bio and the description. Yes. Wow.
We see it?
Thank you so much, Anastasia. And I thank to everybody that you are watching. My name is Catherine Njau, an English teacher from Tanzania. As Anastasia make an introduction for me. Today I'm going to show up the project of her future. You may find that on the screen. These are girls who are receiving kit bags. Inside those kit bags, there is a solution for their health care. You can find that for a long time in Tanzania's secondary schools and primary schools, girls are missing schools more than boys. And this can cause them to stay at home because of lacking of menstrual care. And what they are using, they're using the bad things which are not good for their health. And they use the things like a piece of clothes, that is the rags, tissue papers, they use the dung of cows, and barks of trees. You can find that those things are not good for their health. And for this time, I'm going to talk about her future. Her future, it means hygiene and health education in secondary and primary school. Can you go to the second screen? Yes, so hygiene and health education. Why this hygiene and health education in secondary school is very necessary to boys and girls. Health education is needed to help them to stay safe at school and in the environment. And not only for students, even to the teachers. If the teachers are not learning and teach the students about this health education, it will cause them to undergo different diseases such as worms, cholera, and the current disease, which is COVID-19. So you can find that and health and hygiene education can change the behavior of the students and adults. For example, the issue of washing their hands frequently, this can be the normal behavior and not the forcing behavior. Also can create the good and clean environment to both teachers and the students. you can find that this is the group of teachers that they are receiving education of washing up their hands. Can you think for your side? If you're not learning how to wash your hands clearly and follow all the procedures of washing the hands, how many times are you eating the bad things from the exercise book of the students? You can find that the teachers cannot be in a good self-care if we are not teach our students to wash their hands. For example, the student can go to the toilet and coming back without washing his or her hands. And once he or she goes to the exercise book, she touched the exercise book without washing the hands. And we find that the hands is the quickly means of transporting bacteria. So as the teachers and parents, we're supposed to educate the students to provide this education to them so that they can be aware and developing this behavior of washing the hands to promote the hygiene and health education in schools. Another things which we can make an introduction on to the students after teaching them how to wash their hands. We need to put more emphasis to girls because girls, they're facing a lot of problems when they don't have receiving this hygienic education. As you can find that menstruation is an important issue affecting girls' education in Tanzania schools. You can find that teachers and educators, they're not ready to speak about this. Sometimes they feel shy even to speak about this menstruations. Girls likely to miss school more frequently than boys due to inadequate menstrual care. So in this presentation, I will try to make why it is necessary to teach this menstrual education to girls. Can you return to the last screen? Yes, let us go to another screen. So you can find that we need to show why it is necessary. There is the bad taboos, which is within among our tribe. For example, I'm Chaga, and in my tribe, women who are in menstruation are not supposed to cook food for their husband. And also, there are other tribes like Maasai. When women are in the menstruation, are not supposed to stay with the men. So you can find that this is the bad taboos which are still existing in the family. As an English teacher, we're supposed to speak about this and to bring the welfare of the students and the community at large to understand those bad taboos and to remove those taboos that can create the stigmatization among women and girls. Also, parents and boys are supposed to be aware on what are the challenges that girls are facing. For example, in economic issues and family level, they should know what challenges girls are facing. If boys and parents, they're all involving and put their own eyes to this menstruation, it will be easy for them to understand why it is necessary to know about this menstruation. Also, this knowledge can reduce the absenteeism of girls, and many of the girls should go to the school and receive the education the same as boys. Can I carry on? So I'm so happy to share with you today that this idea of making the kit bags, which I've seen beginning, does not come at its own way. And I have created a saying which says that when you plant a seed of maize, you can harvest a sack of maize. Why does it mean? Life experience does not come in its own way. It's supposed to be bring experience of life. I can say that during my teaching experience before beginning manufacturing reusable sanitary pads, I met with Raya Wena, who was a Peace Corps volunteer in that time. She connected me with Huru International Organization in Kenya, and from there, she teach me how to educate girls and boys about menstruation. And this is where my dreams of helping girls began. Now, how can you teach this menstruation education to parents and teachers? As a group of teachers, what we did first, we managed to reach parents and teachers to give this education. This great aim is to separate myths from fact. And we find that many community members do not have true education on menstrual management. Others feel shame even to speak truth about this. So we need to increase the number of parents and teachers who can be able to bring this education to their family level, that they can be able to speak to their children, especially boys and girls who are within their family. And from there, when they come to the school, they can meet with the teachers. As a group of teachers, we can be able to get them, and it will be easy for them to understand what is going on during their menstruation and what are the challenges that they've been facing and what are the solutions to overcome those challenges. Can I go on, Anastasia? Yes. So through this education, we managed to break silence to teachers and parents and to increase the numbers of them who will continue to educate girls and boys in their society. For example, on the picture, that is the one of the parents I conducted a workshop. At the beginning, this father didn't even been able to draw a picture of a female who is naked. But after teaching him, he was being able to draw a picture and to explain what are the body changes. And from there, he was receiving education that he promised us that he will transmit the knowledge to the community. And at the last, he was realized that girls are facing a lot of challenges, and it is his duty now to go on the community and to provide this education to both boys and girls. Can I carry on, Anastasia? Now, once we need to go to the students, after providing this education to the teachers and parents, we need also to educate our students to be confident and to speak about this menstruation education. How are you going to start this? You need to ask them to describe their body changes, and they're going to describe their body changes. Boys and girls are going to discuss what do they see or what changes they appears on their body. After describing, ask them to differentiate between male and female body changes. They'll make the differences which can happen to male and those differences which can happen to female. After describing their body changes, ask girls to mention things they use during the menstruation period. You may find that many of them, they are going to mention the different things which have been found within their community. They can mention a lot of things. So you need to clarify those things which are health and good for their body to be used. Then you can introduce a product of waridi, if we have a product of reusable sanitary pads or any other kind of pad which is good for their health, that you can introduce to them and help them to use during their hours at the school. After that, in order to make this, you need to explain the importance of teaching the use of reusable sanitary pads. Now, once you provide this education, you need to make it sustainability to the students and teachers. You can find a group of students who are interested in established health clubs in a school. You need to guide them to teach their fellow students in one day, a week. And you can find a teacher who is very interested in this to make a follow-up of what the students are doing. And the students can be able to bring the feedback of what they learn to the teachers. From there, you can understand different challenges that students are facing, and it will be easier for you to make evaluation and to solve those problems that they may face the students inside the school. Oh. Hello? Yes. So I need to find I need to talk about the success that we get as a group of Kuleana, we receive many success, and these are some of the success that we get after introducing of this education and the product of Waridi. Many girls attend to school and receive the right hours the same as boys. Academic performance of girls is higher after distribution of the parts. Both girls and boys increase English language skills, especially building new vocabulary. As an English teacher, sometimes I used to teach this topic by using English language. So by practice English language, you may find that many students are developing new vocabulary after learning this interesting topic. Students are proud to share about their body changes. Awareness and confidence also increasing among themselves. Once you go to the parents are happy because they do not use much money even every month to buy disposable pads. Girls use safe and clean product compared to the previous day, that they were using rags, piece of clothes, socks, piece of mattresses, tissue papers, cow ducks, leaves and barks of trees, to mention few. But after making the introduction of these reusable sanitary pads, girls now are able to use the good product. Most of the parents can talk with their daughters about body changes, and girls know their body changes, no one to laugh at each other. Instead, they can help in where there is a problem. Through water stations at school, the behavior of washing their hands increase and reduce number of diseases such as cholera, worms, and the current disease, which is COVID-19. Also, reduce number of absenteeism in school with water sanitation, because students are happy to wash their hands in groups. And sometimes when they're washing their hands, they used to sing the songs, which is very interesting to them. So by putting this water station, it makes them to be interested to come to school, and the number of absenteeism was being reducing by using this water station at the school. So I want to make some recommendations. Before recommendation, can I talk about challenges? As you know that for any good things that you have, there are some challenges. And we can find that the challenges that we are facing is that some tribes still have taboos of not mentioning private part openly. And as Tanzania is a very large country, which has got different regions. So there are some regions, they didn't know even this topic which I'm talking about today. So there is the need of going in different areas that those girls and boys, they can receive this knowledge of hygienic education. Not having trusted menstrual care or toilets to take care of their period during classes. This is the still challenge. You can find that the places that girls they can use to make exchange of their pads, they're not good for their health. So we need to change them and to provide this education even to the Ministry of Education and Culture to make sure that they are making those places to be good and welcome to the girls to make exchange of their pads during the class hours. Fears of blood leakage on their dresses and skirts. Also have the challenges of lack of funds to produce these reusable sanitary pads. As you can find that this is the great demand in Tanzania country. It is a great demand. You can find that there are so many regions that girls that don't have these healthy products which can use during their menstrual time. Lack of proper person to teach hygiene education at home. Many students get education at home. So you can find that there is no proper person who can teach this hygienic education. And the only one who is living to educate this is only teachers. And you can find that some of the teachers, they are not comfortable to speak about this. Challenges from parents who did not want their children to be taught about menstruation. Because of the taboos, still there are parents who did not like or want their students to be taught about this menstruation. There is excessive pain or discomfort, lack of confidence and self-esteem, and lack of water station to wash their hands when they're at school for both teachers and the students. To wind up, I want to put some recommendation for teaching this menstruation education. First of all, if you want to start this idea, you need to make a research of culture of the society before teaching. You need to select and agree on vocabulary to be used during the lesson. You need to agree which vocabulary is good to use during the presentation of the lesson. Also, you make sure students be free and open for self-explanation. You need to make your students to be comfortable and very free to providing explanation of what they happen on their body, in their bodies. Cite the rules for learning. You need to set the rules before start the lesson. Be willing to change the plan as you go. You can start this as your plan, but you need to be willing to change the plan as you go on teaching. Make sure that students draw pictures and label them. Why we emphasize this to students to draw pictures and label them is because they need to memorize what happened to their body. And once they grown up, when they see those signs that happen to their body, they can feel it is the same as what they have been learning. So it is good to make a memory. Use more energizer to make the class active, and make sure that students are open health club in that school, which will develop awareness to others. This is very necessary. In order to make your lesson to be more sustainable, it's better to get the feedback from the school that the students can provide their own feedback during their club session. And this is so good, and we can get a lot of information from the students, and those information can help you to go on teaching and make them to understand this hygienic education. Thank you so much for listening. This is what I was preparing for today.
All right. Catherine, thank you so much for that amazing presentation, and your work is absolutely inspiring. We do have a few minutes, so I want to go ahead and open up the floor if anyone has any questions for Catherine, and then after that, if anyone has any questions for our other panelists. Oh, Catherine, go ahead.
Yes, these are examples of those parts which I'm making. And when you want to make this one, you need to have the towels, and you need to have to put 3 layers: the upper layers, the middle layers, and the back layers. Inside, you can put a canvas which cannot allow the leakage to go down. So this is how you can make this one. And you can do, once you give this to a girl, you can be able to use it for 5 years. That is what I want to add.
Wonderful. Are there any questions or comments for Catherine or any of our past speakers, Tammy or Krista? You can either unmute yourselves or you can write your comments in the chat and I can read them out. Your choice. Anybody at all? So Catherine, I had a question. When you're doing your discussions in your workshops and education, are you doing it through English or are you doing it through other languages as well?
You know, in Tanzania, we are using 2 languages. That is Kiswahili, that is the national language, and English, that is the international language that we are being used in secondary school. So sometimes in secondary schools, we are using language, but mostly in primary school, and when we go to teach teachers and parents, I'm using Kiswahili, which is the national language that everyone can understand and be aware of this education.
It's wonderful. Thank you so much. I was wondering, honestly, if there was like a language it was easier to explain it in, if English was an easier language to explain because the topic is still so taboo. Is it easier to use English terms than terms in Swahili, or do you find it kind of equally the same?
Yeah, you can find that in secondary schools, many of them, they like to talk about, to learn in English because there are some words that is not normal that they can be free pronouncing it in Swahili. For example, when you're talking about part of the body, there are some part of the body which is not easily to speak it in Swahili. So most of them, they can prefer to communicate and talk about those part of bodies in English. But when I talk to the parents and the primary students, I try to find a good vocabulary that will not hurt them. And I speak them in Kiswahili, that the language is very familiar to them.
So there's a question in the chat. It says, Catherine, what kind of oppositions do you face from parents while you are educating them? So is there any opposition, or do you have any examples of parents who might at first kind of oppose the education? Or are parents pretty much all on board with it? Oh, I think she might have frozen. Okay, okay. I think, oh, I see her now. Catherine, can you hear me? Oh, you're muted. Let me fix that.
Okay, I'm on.
You're on. You're good. All right. So did you hear the question, Catherine?
No, I didn't hear the another question. Can you cite it?
Yes. So what kind of oppositions did you face from parents while you were educating them?
There are so many oppositions that they're facing from parents. Some of them, because of the taboos, they're not allowed to even to mention the part of the bodies openly. So once I go to the parents, they feel shy, even to draw the pictures. For example, the pictures which I show of that man, it was so hard to educate him and tell him the importance of drawing the part of the female part. But after realizing and understanding the importance of it is when he was being able to draw the pictures. And you can find that there are some parents that they don't like even to speak openly about menstruation because of their beliefs that they have. But after receiving this education, they come up with their familiar and understand the importance of their girls and boys to understand about this. And the great opposition which I get from men. Many of men, they find that menstruation is the issue of women and not for men. But after providing this education to them, it was easy to understand they're all involving, because I teach them, even if you're not you're not taking care of the menstruation, you can even eat at your home. For example, if your wife or your daughter is not washing her hands and he and she is in menstruation and preparing food for you without washing her hands, and don't have the good things that can help them to protect them during their menstruation, what do you expect? So after teaching all this, they come up and understand the importance of understand this knowledge of menstruation, and they break the silence. And they promise they are going to be the front line to educate their same men to understand why it is necessary to learn about this. But before, I received a lot of challenge from men, and some of the women, they feel shy and they cannot even speak about this menstruation. And they don't like to allow their girls to learn about this. But after receiving education, now they are aware, and they make the great cooperation, and we are going on. Thank you.
Wow, that's amazing. And I think it's so important that you highlighted that menstruation is not just a female problem. It's something that men and boys need to be aware of as well. I think there was a comment that says, I think this is interesting because it shows how TESOL is gaining relevance to social and emotional issues across cultures. Absolutely. And it's amazing that this success that's happening in Tanzania, because I know that even in the United States, when we have classes on menstruation and reproduction, they're divided. At least when I was in school, we had, males in one room and females in another room. When you do the education, do you have boys and girls in the same room, or are they separate and then joined later? How is that? organized.
Now we break silence, we are putting them together. We are not separating them. But before, we are separating them. Boys that are going to be in another room talking about their body changes, another room talking about their menstruation. But as boys are not aware of challenges girls are facing. For example, in the issue of economy, can you take an example? You can find that you can have two brothers, brother and one sister at home. Maybe these boys that are staying at boarding schools and girls also is staying at the boarding school. But when they're being given the pocket money from their parents, you can find that if a girl has been given an additional money for buying parts or other things which is necessary for her, the boy can complain about that. Why he complained? Because he didn't know what challenges girls is facing during the menstruation and how she is going to use that money. So because of the economic status, you can find that even the fathers of that girl is not aware to make to add more to make an addition of money to the pocket money of a girl. And you can find that even can speak the bad word, maybe you are misuse the money. But after teaching this, by putting them together, they become in realizing girls is need more attention. It need more attention to the part of economic status, to the part of family care, to the part of the school and the community at large, supposed to put more eyes to girls and to enable her to stay at the school. We can go far to the early pregnancies which are happening among girls. You can find that where is the pregnancy? You can find that when girl is struggling to have a pad, can be force herself to make an engagement, a sexual engagement with other people who is able to provide that part to them. So this also is another challenge that girls can face in. But after getting this to both, they can understand and try to find the simple way to find money or to find the good things and easily without forcing the economy that can help girl to undergo this situation without going to the bad risk behavior. So that is what I found after combining this education to both boys and girls.
All right, thank you. Catherine, we have a question from an audience participant, Renee. Renee, I'm going to unmute you. Do you want to ask your question?
Thank you, Anastasia. And forgive me for please that I'm not turning on my camera. I think I look a little scary today at home. So I just wanted to ask a question to the first presenter. I really found also your presentation very interesting. And I recognized the application of like second language theory when there was like tolerance of ambiguity. And I was very interested in some of the theories that you combined because you really presented a very sensitive presentation and very informative. So I was just, curious about, I guess, the frame that you thought about even as you were doing your presentation. Thank you.
This is a question for Tammy, right?
Yes, thanks. Yes.
Tammy, are you there? Did you hear the question? Oh, let me see. I don't know if Tammy is on anymore. It's quite late in the UAE at the moment, so I don't know if she's with us. I'm sorry. But
No
I'll make sure that I get her contact information. You can email her. Thank you, Renee.
Thanks.
All right. Are there any other questions for Catherine or for anyone? I think Krista is also still on as well. She's on. All right. Catherine, anything else to add? Krista, anything else to add? We have 5 more minutes before we take a break, so we can add anything you want.
Okay. Something which I want to add, that as teachers, we're supposed to take care on our health, and we need to start by ourselves. Once you need to teach this health education, we need to look our side in order to make it more reflective practice to our side. So by starting by ourselves, it will be easily to send this great education to the health care to ourselves and to our students and to our community at large. That is what I want to recommend. Thank you so much.